I like it. So post high school, you're ranked, a couple notes here, you're ranked 66th overall in the state, 13th among second basemen according to Perfect Game. So this grabs the attention of University of Oregon. So how excited did you get that they were willing to bring you in their baseball program?
It was awesome. So it was end of my freshman year going into my sophomore year summer. It's my first opportunity playing with the varsity team at Mater Dei, get my first at bats and really getting a feel for it over summer ball. And we were in Fresno in a tournament, and we were playing Buchanan High School. I think they were the national champions the year before. I want to say just based on my memory off a banner they had, but I played pretty well, and Jay Ullman was the coach at the time, and he talked to our head coach, and then I gave him a call, and kind of everything from there was history. And I got the opportunity to be the first commit in the 2018 class, and I went up there July 20th, 2015, and that's when I committed. Because again, the only cons were going to be the weather, and I don't mind the weather. So that was for me. Is I love the coaches, I love their mentality, facilities. So I was super excited to get the opportunity to play at Oregon and play for Coach Horton and Coach Ullman, Coach Dietrich, Mitch Carricker, all those guys. So it was a really good, really, really cool experience. And leading up to it, I was very excited.
So here's a question submitted from someone, and we'll get to more afterwards, but this one I figured I'd plug in here because it went with the theme. But Greg Marmo, he's a high school baseball player. He wants to know what the recruiting process was like and what were some tips on getting recruited.
Honestly, be the hardest working person. I mean, it sounds very cliche, and that's what everyone says when you ask about recruiting. But again, it's who's going to work harder and who's going to come down and perform at the end of the day. I mean, again, it's the recruiting process is based off your performances. So if you're performing well, you should have some options where to go, right? And if that's not the case, then maybe it's where you're at, and maybe you should. I mean, a lot of people recommend some cases. I would recommend doing just as many tournaments as possible because, again, scouts are everywhere. Let me tell you, everywhere. Arizona tournaments. And I know some people really don't like travel ball or not fans of it, but at least and for me, a lot of kids get committed in travel ball, but for me, I was a high school. I got committed through my high school. So, I mean, I was always a high school first guy, and then I would go to travel ball. But I would say travel ball is a good thing too because, again, you never know who's going to be watching you. And that's another key is always work hard, always be on top of your stuff because, again, you never know who's watching. You never know who knows who, and word gets around. So just stay on top of your things, work hard, and grades. Grades is the last thing. Grades. That's a big thing. I was always a 3 flat in high school, and it clicked for me. I was able to really take classes that I enjoyed, and now I'm a 3.3, and I have a 3.6 right now this term. So, I mean, that's a big thing too is grades. Is coaches want to see good grades.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So during your freshman year at Oregon in 2019, you played a good amount of games, and so what was that experience like for you? You said you mostly played second base there. So how was your experience being an Oregon Duck?
Again, it was unreal. I mean, we came up short, and again, I didn't have the season I wanted to have offensively. But it was a really good experience for me because I got an opportunity to start as a freshman, and that's something you can't take for granted. I mean, there's nothing like starting at any college as a freshman, but especially in conference like the Pac-12 was a really good opportunity for me to see where I played out against other guys in the conference, and I got in my head last year. So, I mean, it was going back on it. If I could go back, I would fix it, but Oregon was a great experience and a great, great time for me, especially with the coaches up there. So it was a really good experience for me.
So you finished second in the nation in sacrifice bunts. So personally, I'm a PO, so I don't get up there that much. But when I do, I've laid down a good amount myself. So is that something that you take pride in doing with the sacrifice bunt category?
Yeah, I mean, again, so I'm more of I would drag a lot, but when I was just struggling, and my defense was solid enough to be able to keep playing every day, but my offense again was my biggest struggle. I just let myself get in my own head, taking fastballs, and that's kind of where I got put in a lot of positions where there's no one out, and I was in either the 8 or 9 spot. So there's no one out and guy on or 2 guys on, and baseball, I mean, you're going to get them over, right? So I just got put in a lot of positions where I can help my team out, lay down a bunt. But yeah, I mean, I take pride in it. I mean, I'll take pride in any part of the game that there is. So